Okay, so these are 4 pieces of pine trees that I cut down earlier this year. I actually measured them to length, except for maybe that one. But otherwise, these are all my shorter ones. So I'm going to use these and turn them into posts for my garden by taking the bark off, which I've already completed that step on all of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 or so. These little ones, I'll use that for like a crossbar going above the door openings, which I'm going to have one over here and then one on that end, so I can come in from that way or from this way, or I might put one there and one here. Either way, I want to be able to get into the garden in more than one spot. So I'll put my posts in, and then I will run some 2x4 treated boards in between the posts. Do like 2 rows, and then I can put fencing, like a mesh fencing up against it to help keep the rabbits, maybe the raccoons a little bit. We'll see. Raccoons can kind of get into a lot, so unless I cover the top, it probably won't help, but at least I'll be able to try and keep the little animals out, and it'll look a little nicer. Anyways, this side we got our strawberries, and I tend to plant tomatoes and some other things on this end. On that side of the garden I got some blueberries growing. Anyways, that's the project. So the next step in these is the end that's going to go in the ground. I'm going to burn like the bottom 2 feet in the fire pit. So I'll just get them so that they're charcoal, and that will be the water protectant barrier for in the ground to keep it from rotting. And then on the bottom of the holes, I'll just add a little bit of gravel on the bottom of all the holes, so it keeps the water from sitting right on the end of the post. And then I'll put some kind of treatment, most likely on the upper part that's going to be out of the ground, just so they'll all kind of look the same. And then the treated ones, they'll just turn gray after a year, or maybe a little longer, but they won't look too green for that long. Alright, we're going to be showing you here how we put the posts in the ground. You can see the bottom parts of them are burnt black. We did that with the fire pit. And we also spaced these out. They're 12-foot spacing, so you got to make sure your posts are about where they need to go. You want to line them up with the ends of the 12-foot posts. You have to overlap the 2x12s a little bit to make sure that you have something to screw them onto on each post. But this is how we laid out the garden. We got posts in every 12 feet. So you can see we got a corner post that'll go right here, another middle post, and we'll show you later on in the video. Some of these are going to go in the ground deeper than others, and some of them are going to stick out of the ground deeper than others. But that's the layout of our post. Hello. Okay, when you're digging your post holes, you don't want to go really deeper than what you want the post, because then you have unmoved ground down at the bottom, so it makes it harder for it to go down. So I'm right about pretty close to the 24 inches that I want. So that allows my post to go in 24 inches. Now these 2 posts here are 8 feet, and that's why we got an extra foot higher than the ones that are in the other spots, except for that corner post and that corner post. Those are both 8 feet as well, but they go 3 feet into the ground. So you always want to have at least a couple of corner posts that are an extra foot deeper. If you're not going 3 feet with all of them, it gives a little more strength. That helps hold up, say, this side and that side. I mean, granted, if I had a 9-foot post, I'd like to have that in those two spots. But that's not how long I cut these when I cut the trees apart. So I just went with just 2 feet in the ground here, because I'm going to put a board across the top from that one over to the other one. That'll help keep the side-to-side strength up. All right, now we're going to be checking it for plumb. We want to make sure that this is going straight up and down. Now these are trees, and trees have curves in them, so you got to find a good middle ground where you can make it so that it's plumb enough so you can attach a door. Now you're going to do the level thing more than once, but now I have an idea of where I want it. So we put some dirt in the hole. You don't want to put it all the way up to the top. You don't want to just fill it all the way in, because that dirt is not packed down. It won't hold the post in place very long. So you put some dirt in, then you get the back end of a shovel or any kind of tool that you want that's kind of smaller like this, so you can go and pack around. Pack it in there. And you're going to do this a few times. Alright, now I can let go of the post and it stays generally where you put it. We'll put some more dirt on, then we'll check the level again after we've got more dirt on, in case we need to move it a little bit. Still need to attach a few things, but that's what the crossbar is going to look like across this opening. And then I will make some form of a door for this. And my other one's over on that side. That one's a little smaller. Not quite as wide, I should say. But all the posts are in. I gotta go get another set of 2x4s, because I'm gonna put one towards the top, and then I'll have the one towards the bottom. I'll staple my deer fencing to that, and then I'll get the chicken fencing that'll go at the, or some form of wire that will go towards the bottom. That way things can't chew through. Okay, this is my chicken fencing that I've got set up here for the first part of it. For the vegetable garden, that's supposed to help keep the animals from chewing through and crawling up. So I'll stake this down to the ground, put some dirt over it. Hopefully that keeps anything from crawling underneath. And then I've got my black fencing that I'm going to put all the way up here. So that'll hopefully help deter the deer. I mean, if they really want to get in, they'll just jump over it. So there's the fencing on the garden with the deer fencing, the chicken wire at the bottom. I'm gonna guess I might have to replace the chicken wire with the wire mesh eventually, but we'll see what happens with that. And now I got a fence that I can have the garden stuff grow up, some of it. Alright, we're back with our garden fencing. So I want to show you what we used. This is what we nailed on all the fencing. So we put chicken wire on first. Did like 24-inch chicken wire. And we pushed it down so it was over the grass a little bit and pushes this way. We also did that with the deer fencing to help keep animals from digging underneath. This is the deer fencing that we put on. We will be putting ribbons on this in a couple places for keeping birds away, and it also will help the deer know that there's something there that they don't walk into. So here's our gate that we put on. So you need to make sure, that's why when these posts were put on, we wanted to make sure everything was as level as possible. Now this post is a little crooked, but I wanted the gate to swing in. So I put these type of latches so our gate will swing in. And there we're in the garden. Now this one is not super big because I just wanted to be able to walk in this one. The one over there I made wider so that you could drive a little lawn tractor with a tiller behind it if I ever get one. I don't have one now, so this is what everything looks like, all put together. So, and you can put a lock on here if you want to. I don't see any reason to right now, but make sure you like and subscribe our videos, and don't forget to come back for part 2 of the chicken coop video. Thank you for watching. Take care.